Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is MOHD.HAFFIZ IZZAT bin RAMZI. I am one of the member from Group 5 along with AMIRUL ASHRAF bin AZMAN, Muhammad Irfan Hazwan bin ASLAN, and Muhammad ASLAM bin ADANAN. Okay, the topic we will be sharing today is about suspension system, specifically regarding on McPherson strut type. Okay, first of all, for the suspension system, there are two types of suspension, which is non-independent and independent suspension. Okay, for the independent suspension, the both right and left wheel will be attached to the same solid axle, which means one of the wheel hit the bump in the road, its upward movement cause a slight tilt of the other wheel. Okay, for the independent suspension, it allows one wheel to move independently, to move up and down, which will be minimal effect to the other. Okay, for the introduction for McPherson strut refer to a particular form of independent suspension on the front axle of a car. For this type of suspension, it takes over the task of a steering rod and serves simultaneously for suspension and vibration damping. The advantage of the McPherson suspension, the device includes a small number of parts, which is less weight and saving space in the engine compartment or trunk. In simplest word, this type of McPherson suspension strut is a combination of shock absorber and elastic element, which is the spring, and mounted on the strut. Okay, this is the assembly for the McPherson strut shock absorber. First, we got the nut, which is mounted to the strut. Then the strut mount, which is the mounting to the frame. And we got jounce bumper, also known as bump stop or rebound bumper, which is to prevent metal to metal contact. Then we got the front spring upper insulator, the spring, front spring lower insulator, front strut, steering knuckle, and the lower arm. Okay, the metal strut tube hosts the shock absorber, reservoir, valve, pressure tube, and so on. Okay, now how does the McPherson strut work? When the car hit a bump, the shock absorber softens the shock, but since most of the shock absorber are designed without a return spring, the stem remains in place, which when it leaves in this position, the wheel will lose traction and the car will start to sag. For this type of suspension, it uses a spring to re-establish the contact between the wheel and the rod. It quickly returns the shock absorber to its original position, where the rod is completely out of the damper housing. And by using solely the spring, will also soften the shock when driving over the bump. But such a suspension has a huge drawback, where the car body will sway so much that everyone who is inside the cabin will have seasickness after a long trip. Alright, there are pros and cons when using McPherson strut suspension, which is the advantages when using the McPherson strut. It is low production cost because of stamped construction. Then the McPherson strut is pre-assembled, which is the strut body carries spring assembly. Then it compact, which is simple mounting and no need for an upper control arm. And lastly, it simplicity, mean reduction in fastener and alignment of vehicle suspension component. For the disadvantages, it large camber variation, meaning the body roll and the wheel movement contribute to camber attitude. Then vertically tall mounting position will cause this compromise vehicle styling. And third, rock ride, because some ride comfort may be lost as it is hard to move smoothly because of the bending input force. And lastly, the process changing is dangerous because the spring must be compressed, then assembled on the strut body. This means the person who maintaining the strut McPherson will be handling of a charged spring. And that's all from me. Then we'll be moved to the next one, which will be conducted by Muhammad Irfan Hazwan regarding on inspection and maintenance of the McPherson suspension.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Muhammad Irfan Hazwan bin HASLAN daripada grup nombor 5. Hari ini saya akan tunjuk demokrasi pada komponen suspension, iaitu absorber jenis McPherson strut. Okay, absorber jenis McPherson strut ni berfungsi sebagai untuk menyerap hentakan daripada jalan raya lah, sebelum kenderaan lalu di atas jalan raya. Okey, absorber yang baik akan dapat menjaga komponen-komponen kenderaan yang lain dalam kenderaan lah. Elemen juga mempengaruhi sistem suspension juga. Okey, cara-cara untuk mengenal pasti absorber kita bermasalah apabila kita memandu. First, apabila melalui jalan yang tidak rata, kenderaan akan seperti melayang-layang lah apabila atau laluan berbonggol. Selepas turun dari bonggol tu, kenderaan masih lagi tidak berhenti berhayun. Maknanya itu menunjukkan absorber ataupun sistem suspension itu sudah rosak lah dan perlu diganti. Okey, yang kedua, cara-cara untuk periksa absorber ni secara praktikalnya adalah kita tengok dari segi minyak dia, sama ada leaking pada komponen itu ataupun tidak. Okey, yang kedua adalah kita tengok dari segi gas. Gas sama ada kita tekan absorber itu, sama ada dia turun dan naik dalam masa yang singkat ataupun sekejap. Kalau masa mengambil masa yang lama, maknanya absorber tu sudah keras lah, sudah perlu diganti lah. Okey, di sini saya akan tunjukkan terdapat absorber jenis McPherson strut yang telah rosak. Kita boleh tengok dari segi fizikalnya adalah getah pada absorber mounting ini telah crack. Terdapat banyak crack pada getah absorber mounting. Ini juga boleh menyebabkan apabila memandu, kereta akan terdapat bunyi abnormal lah, abnormal noise pada absorber ini. Dan absorber mounting ini juga boleh ditukar pada komponen ini saja yang dipanggil absorber mounting ni lah, tak perlu tukar untuk absorber seketul. Okey, pada absorber ini dari segi fizikalnya elok, tiada kerosakan, dan pada cover getah ini juga tak ada kesan koyak, dan menunjukkan bahawa absorber ini boleh dipakai, hanya perlu tukar absorber mounting saja kerana absorber mounting sudah crack. Okey. Okey, setelah saya membuka absorber ini, terdapat ada kesan leaking pada absorber ini. Absorber ini telah rosak. Dan pada absorber mounting juga terdapat crack. Dia sudah dalam, menunjukkan bahawa absorber itu sudah rosak. Absorber mounting sudah rosak. Dan saya akan tunjuk dari segi fizikal, iaitu gas. Kita akan tunjuk sama ada apabila dia turun dan naik tu mengambil masa yang lama ataupun singkat. Kalau mengambil masa yang lama, maknanya absorber ini perlu diganti kerana ia telah rosak. Okay, absorber ni betul-betul sudah rosak. Kalau tak, dia akan terus naik. Mengambil masa yang sekejap lah untuk naik. Ini langsung tak naik. Ini adalah absorber dia telah bermasalah dan perlu diganti. Saya kesan leaking. Okey.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad ASLAM bin ADANAN and my ID number is BVA2124. Today I want to present about inspection and maintenance McPherson strut. So this is a component of McPherson strut. We have a strut mount, coil spring, front strut, stabilizer bar and control arm. For the strut mount, check the suspension in its normal loaded position by jacking up its suspension arm in turn. Then use a strong lever to try to move joint component apart. Any movement means that the joint must be replaced. Get a helper to force the suspension upward using a long lever placed under the wheel and look for play or distortion in all the joint and bush. Check a McPherson's top mounting plate. Open the bonnet and check the top mounting on McPherson strut assemblies. Check the top pin bolts and rubber bush. Also, the wall mounting plate are surrounding area for rust. On some car, a reinforcing plate can be welded to the upper mount of the McPherson strut. If rust has not weakened, need the rest of the structure. For the car that have been damaged and on its strut mount of McPherson strut, need to change as soon as possible. For coil spring, before visual inspection or suspension height measurement can be accomplished, the vehicle must be on a level surface. Tire must be full and there should be no passenger or luggage compartment load. Beginning at the rear bumper, joint the car up and down several times. Proceed the front bumper and repeat, releasing during some cycle as rear jaunt. More accurate inspection will reveal less obvious side-to-side sag by measuring height at specific point on each side of the suspension system. If bumper is bent or damaged, compare ground to fender measurement taken at center of wheel cut out in fender. Allowable height difference should be no more than foreground to bumper measurement. For accurate front to rear comparison, measuring point should be checked against manufacturer recommendation for the specific model after determining that the vehicle is properly unloaded of abnormal cargo. If inspection reveals a weak coil spring on either side, both sides must be replaced. Never attempt to avoid replacement by hiding the effect of weak spring with any kind of insert, block or so-called stabilizer, as insert will raise the vehicle height but at the expense of handling and comfort. An insert virtually disable the coil is separate and eliminate its ability to absorb shock. Further, the insert concentrate the stress on angle point of the coil rather than distributing this force throughout the spring. The simply accelerate fatigue and failure of the spring. Overload and shock are equally unsuitable as means for overcoming sagging coil spring. These devices are designed to maintain proper vehicle height in overload condition only. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is ASHRAF bin AZMAN. My ID is VB19018. Today I will present about inspection and maintenance for McPherson strut. Okay, we go to the front strut for inspection and maintenance. First, the symptom include bounce and or knocking when driving over bumps. The vehicle may feel less stable and smooth than before. You may notice that your car continues bounce up and down after driving over a pothole. To pinpoint a weak or failed strut or shock absorber, your mechanic may do a quick bounce test where each corner of the vehicle is pushed down and quickly released. The corner with the weak shock absorber or strut will keep bounce up and down longer, while the corner with the good units will rebound slowly and will not bounce more than twice. Next, another common reason to replace strut is after hitting a major pothole, cup, or after an accident. If any this case, the strut might be bent, which may not be visible but can be detected during the wheel alignment. Driving with a failed strut or shock absorber is not safe. In addition, if one of shock or strut is not working, there is more load on other trees which will cause them to fail sooner. And last, leaking shock can no longer effectively damage the spring and must be replaced. Okay, we go to the next. Okay, stabilizer bar link. The responsibility of keeping your car stable and handling smooth under diverse driving condition falls on the stabilizer, or sway bar as it's often referred to as. This mechanical unit is attached to the body of the vehicle by way of a body mount with stabilizer bar bushing and the stabilizer bar links, which is attached to the lower arm of the front suspension and have bushing along the link for protection and to ensure smooth ride. When the stabilizer bar link are starting to wear out, the symptom can range from barely noticeable to significant, and if you do not have your stabilizer bar link replaced, can result in catastrophic damage to the front end of your vehicle and potentially an accident. Next, clacking or rattling noise from the tires area, poor handling or loose steering wheel. Check during tire replacement or suspension inspection, and the last, a great opportunity for car owners to be proactive about keeping their stabilizer bar and front suspension protect from significant damage is to ask a certified mechanic to inspect them during a front brake replacement, brake pad replacement, or tire replacement, or other front end works. Okay, next is control arm. Inspection control arm for damage such as cracking and bending. Whenever the suspension is inspected, crack and bending can result from self-impact or collision. Control arm bushing deteriorate over time and can separate, causing noise and handling complaint. Bushing replacement generally require that the control arms be removed from the vehicle. And in many cases, the control arm bushing have to be topped with the control arm and its normal right height position. Always follow the manufacturer service information for proper torque procedure and specs. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.